The Alternative Digitalk. Real issues, real talk.
Go to the church, though.
Tawali man, what's up?
Man, can you imagine people just dump everywhere? Someone drinks water and throws the bottle wherever.
Come on, Rogers. What else do you expect people to do with an empty bottle?
Simanya now, do you know that plastics take at least 450 years to decompose?
What? That's a long time.
Exactly. Because plastics are made out of a lightweight and flexible material that doesn't decompose easily. And plastics everywhere in the environment cause plastic pollution.
What is plastic pollution now?
It is the accumulation of plastic waste in the environment, like bottles, polythene bags, straws. All of these contribute to plastic pollution.
I have been using them without knowing their effect.
Yeah, a lot of people have. Plastics are a danger to the ecosystem, both on land and in water.
So how can we overcome this problem? Is there something we can do?
Oh yes, we can reduce by minimizing the use of plastics, reuse by repurposing them, or recycle by collecting and processing them into new products.
Everyone wants to change the world, but no one wants to change themselves for the world.
How about we change our habits for the world?
And it starts with me and you.
This message is brought to you by Alternative Digitalk.
Hi Rogers, can I ask you something?
Shoot.
What does corruption mean?
Well, summarily, corruption is abuse of public power for personal gain or for the benefit of a group to which one owes allegiance. For example, when a public office is abused by an official accepting or soliciting a bribe. By the way, private people can be corrupt too, like bribing police officers to escape fines.
Okay. So exactly how does that concern me?
Well, do you pay taxes?
I guess yeah. What does that have to do with this?
Everything. Because those taxes you pay are supposed to facilitate services you use, like water, electricity, roads construction, medicines in hospitals, name it.
Okay, that is much bigger than I thought. But it can be stopped, right?
Well, yes it can, although it may not be as easy as it sounds. And here is the reason why. Corruption roots are grounded in our country's social, political, economic, bureaucratic traditions and policies.
So, what has kept it going this long? I mean, why don't we stop it?
Well, the main reason why it has been here for so long is because institutions are weak, either as a result of poorly defined ethical standards of public service, weak administrative and financial systems, or ineffective watchdog agencies.
What can we do to stop it?
At a national level, we must focus on strengthening the independence and effectiveness of public institutions that fight corruption. At a personal level, we must commit to never giving a bribe.
I promise I'll never give a bribe.
Well, that's a great decision you have made. Me and you now have to spread this message to all our friends. If we all do our part, corruption will be no more.
This message is brought to you by Alternative Digitalk. The Alternative Digitalk. Real issues, real talk. The Alternative Digitalk. Real issues, real talk.
Looking for a pair of shoes?
Les Up Stores has a wide range of selection for unisex footwear. We have the best quality of all brands at pocket-friendly prices, and we make deliveries countrywide. Just place your order or reach us on 0772 08 0090. You can also check up at Les Up Stores on all our social media platforms. Les Up, craft your own footprints. Are you craving for that special meal that will entice your taste buds and leave you with lasting thrilling memories? Look no further. Spice Island Bulenga has got your answer. Natural, fresh and delicious juice, the best meals. Don't miss our daily specials from Monday to Sunday. Pizza Wednesday, Saturday Pizza Bonanza, you buy one and take two. Come dine with us and feel the experience. We are located at Prime Shopping Center in Bulenga, Mitiana Road. For inquiries, call us on 0704 11 1720. Spice Island, we treat your cravings.
Go to the church, though.
Tawali man, what's up?
Man, can you imagine people just dump everywhere? Someone drinks water and throws the bottle wherever.
Come on, Rogers. What else do you expect people to do with an empty bottle?
Simanya now, did you know that plastics take at least 450 years to decompose?
What? That's a long time.
Exactly, because plastics are made out of a lightweight and flexible material that doesn't decompose easily. And plastics everywhere in the environment cause plastic pollution.
What is plastic pollution now?
It is the accumulation of plastic waste in the environment, like bottles, polythene bags, straws. All of these contribute to plastic pollution.
I have been using them without knowing their effect.
Yeah, a lot of people have. Plastics are a danger to the ecosystem, both on land and...
The Alternative Digitalk. Real issues, real talk.
Tuseme muko raka kaisemu naye tukyagenda maaso ne program The Mighty Drive nze omumbejjali we Delirian okubanga ate nkuweereza era nga kanyamiro ke tulimu ke Kamete Global News Updates munnange ku ddakiika zino omwenda ezakayita ku ssaawa 2 ez'amakya g'olunaku olwaleero lunaku lwakuna ennaku z'omwezi 13 omwezi ogwakasambula wa July omwaka 2023 mbabuzaako yonna gye musinzidde okubanga mutulaba tuli butereevu ku peeji zaffe The Alternative Uganda ne Digitalk TV ku Facebook gye mikutu kosobola okubanga ate otufunira olunaku olwaleero nga tugenda kubanga twegattibwako omukulu Maseruka Sadat ono anaava mu kibiina Challanges for National Transformation era nga ye mukulembeze w'abavubuka mu Buganda Region. Tugenda kubategera ku nsonga ez'enjawulo ezikwatagana ku bavubuka ate munnange n'ensonga endala okuva mu kibiina kye mwava mu Alliance for National Transformation naawe osobole okubanga ate weeyongera okubanga ebintu bino obitegeera bulungi nga bwe bitambula mu kibiina. Ngenda kubanga nkuyisizaamuko ku bimu ku ebyo byakoze amawulire wano mu ggwanga erya Uganda weewaawo n'ebitundu by'eggwanga eby'enjawulo ate osobole okubanga naawe obitegeera bulungi nnyo. Kakati ngenda kuba ntandika ne Speaker wa Parliament Honorable Anita Anet Among munnange ono nno ate yategeezezza Parliament nti bagenda kubanga munaye bazzaawo enkola ey'okusala ku nsako ez'ababaka ba Parliament. Munnange nno ng'ensonga eva ku ki bano nno kuba nti basusse okubanga tebatuula mu ntuula za Parliament oba ate obutakiika oba okwebulankanya munnange mu ntuula za Parliament era mbu kino bakikolera ddala kagenderere. Ono nno Speaker agamba nti munnange kino nno kigendereddwamu okutaasa ku nsimbi ez'omuwi w'omusolo eziweebwa ababaka munnange ababaka abatatuukiriza buvunaanyizibwa bwabwe. Kino nno Speaker wa Parliament azze akyogerako enfunda eziwera ababaka abamu okwebulankanya era ne bangi eriyise yakyogerakoko nategeeza nti abamu beebulankanya nga ne mu constituency nayo tebaliiyo. Abamu babaka bo bazze nga bagamba nti tetutuula mu ntuula za parliament olw'ensonga tuba n'emirimu egitufuula bize mu constituency. Naye sipiika munnaye yagambye nti kakati bano bagenda kubanga babasalako munnange ensako olw'okuba nti tebakiika mu ntuula za parliament ate nga kino kiba kagenderere. So katulinde ensonga ezo nazo bwe zinaaba zitambudde munnange tujja kubanga ate tuyongera okuzikutuusaako. Awo nvuddewo ngenza ate kuwa eggulire eddala era nga lino lya bannannyini makebererezo baziyite laboratories munnange ez'obwannannyini bano nno baagala ministry y'ebyobulamu ate ebannyonnyole kwe yasinzidde okukakasa ebifo ebibiri byokka okuba nti eno nno endagabutonde zirina okuba nga zikebererwa era nti munnange ebyabwe byo ate babirese wabbali. Bano nno bategeeza nti bafubidde eddala okuwandiikira ministry ate okubabuulira obukwakkulizo bwe balina okutuukiriza naye nga munnange bano nno tebaddiddwamu ate ne beebuuza nti basinzidde ku kyokubanga bakakasa laboratories 2 zokka. Kinajjukirwa nti gye buvuddeko minisita ow'ebyobulamu Dr. General Challanges yavaayo n'ategeeza nti ebifo byokka byokka ebyaweebwa olukusa okubanga bikebera endagaluse bibiri byokka mu ggwanga era nga munnange kuliko laboratory ya government ate ne wabaawo ne laboratory endala munnange eyaweebwa ekkatala ly'okuba nti bano nno be bakebera endagabutonde. Munnange bano abasigadde ate bo ebyabwe birabika okubanga tebinnaba kubanga bitereezebwa era awo bwe basinzidde ne basaba ministry munnange kwe yasinzidde okubanga ekakasa ebifo bino. So ebyo nabyo gye binaaba biggweredde tujja kubanga tubikutuusaako ate gye bujjako awo mu maaso. Neeyongeddeyo okulonda bassentebe b'ebyalo ba LC1 chairpersons munnange kukyalimu ate Kigoye Weezinge. Bano nno ebisanja byabwe byaggwako abakyala ebisanja bye byasooka okubanga biggwako naye nga n'ebyabaami byaweddeko sabbiiti eno yennyini gye tulimu. Wabula gavumenti yavaayo netutegeeza nti ssente z'okubanga bategeka okulonda kw'aba chairman waba LC1 chairman teziriiwo bulungi. Minisita Raphael Magezi yavaayo nakkaatiriza ensonga eno mu parliament n'ategeeza nti beetaaga obuwumbi bweza kuno obusoba mu 50 okubanga ate bategeka okulonda kw'aba LC1 ne LC2 awamu n'obukiiko bw'abakyala ku byalo. Wabula wono si we wali ekinyusi wabula bo baminisita aba gavumenti ey'ekisiikirize munnange bo baavuddeyo ne bawa gavumenti nsaleesale wannaku 30 zokka ate okubanga etegese okulonda kw'abassentebe aba LC1 LC2 okwo nno kwogatta n'obukiiko obw'abakyala ku byalo. Oba si kyo munnange bo bagenda kubanga bakunga abantu ate okwekalakaasa. Minisita owa gavumenti ez'ebitundu ono nno ye yatutegeeza dda nti ssente zeetaagisa okubanga zetegeka okulonda kuno okw'abassentebe b'oku byalo. Munnange ssente zino gavumenti tezirinaawo era ababaka ne bategeeza nti wabeewo supplementary eyisibwa ate okulonda kw'abassentebe b'oku byalo ate n'obukiiko bw'abakyala kubenga munnange kukolebwa obanga ekyo nakyo kiva mu ddiiro bassentebe bano ate basobole okubanga bakyusibwa. Kinajjukirwa okulonda kw'abassentebe kwaliwo mu mwaka gwa 2018 naye ng'ate si gwe mulundi gwokka ogusoose okubanga okulonda kw'aba LC1 oba okulonda kw'abassentebe b'oku byalo ate kulinnyibwamu eggere. Kinajjukirwa nti bamalako ebbanga erisoberera ddala mu myaka 10 nga baweereza nga tewali kulonda kukyusa bukulembeze bwabwe wabula katulinde ate ensonga ezo nazo gye zinaggweera. Awo nawo nvuddewo neeyongereddeyo ddala ate mu ggulire eddala. President ow'eggwanga erya Iran Ibrahim Raisi yatuuse mu ggwanga munnange olunaku olw'eggulo ku bugenyi bwaliko obutongole era nga buno obugenyi bwa nnaku 2 nonno nga yayaniriziddwa President w'eggwanga erya Uganda General Yoweri Kaguta Museveni mu maka g'obwa President Entebbe. Ono nno obugenyi President wa Iran obugenyi nnaku 2 zokka era nga agenda kuba munnange ate boogera ku nsonga ez'enjawulo era batadde dda emikono munnange okukolera awamu ate nga essira basinze kuliteeka nnyo ku bya bulimi, visa exemptions, amakolero okwo nno gattako ne joint communications okubanga bakolera awamu ng'amawanga abiri era nti munnange ebibagatta biyitirivu nnyo era awo nno wenkutegeereza nti President w'eggwanga erya Iran yagenze mu maaso n'okubanga atendereza Uganda olw'okusitukiramu ate n'egaana oba neteeka omukono ku tteeka erirwanyisa ebisiyaga n'ategeeza nti munnange abazungu babadde basusse nnyo okubanga babamerako naye bwekiba nti Uganda munnange yasobodde okubanga eteeka omukono ku tteeka lino ery'ebisiyaga kiragira ddala nti nabo bakyakkiririza kunono ate ez'obuwangwa oba bakyakkiririza ddala mu family ate kyeyategeezezza nti abazungu abo bafubye nnyo okulaba nga family zino zisaanyizibwawo so ebyo nno nabyo bwe byatambudde esayidi eyo awo nvuddewo neeyongeddeyo ate mugulire ddala omukulu Moses Buyinza Isabirye ng'ono nno yabadde dereva w'omugenzi Apollo Nyigamehe oba abangi bamanyi nga Aponye eyafiira mu kabenje gye buvuddeko ono nno munnange yamazidde okuba nga agombebwamu obwala okuyambako poliisi mu kunoonyereza ebimu ku ebyo ebyaviirako akabenje wabula ono mu kukwatibwako yaguddwako emisango kuli okuvugisa ekimama era nti kino kyekyaviirako mukama w'okubanga afiira ate mu kabenje kinajjukirwa nti emmotoka y'omugagga mugenzi kati Aponye munnange yatomera ekimotoka ekyali kipaakinze ku kkubo emmotoka ye yali namba UBF 300Z era ng'eno nno yatomeregana ne Fuso enamba USZ 767D sabbiiti ewedde era nga munnange akabenje kano akaaleka omugagga Apollo Nyigamehe ng'avudde mu bulamu bw'ensi eno wabula ne kaleka driver ono ng'alumiziddwa ate weewaawo n'abalala nga bano baddusibwa mu ddwaliro erya Mbarara Regional Referral Hospital okubanga ate bafuna obujjanjabi wabula ono nno bwe yafunyeemu oba bwe yatereddeemuko poliisi ate munnange n'emugombamu obwala era munnange okusinziira ku Samson Kasasira era ng'ono ye mwogezi wa poliisi ow'ettundutundu lya Rizi munnange Buyinza ono ezimu ku nsonga ezamukwasiza kwe kubanga abayambako mu kunoonyereza okuzuula obanga waaliwo obulagajjavu obuyinza okubanga bwe bwaviirako ate akabenje kano wabula ensonga ezo nazo zikyagendera ddala mu maaso ono nno munnange ensango gye bamuvuna naye yagyegaanye dda naye katulinde ate okunoonyereza gye kunaaba kuggweredde munnange tujja kubanga tubikuwa wabula ye speaker wa parliament munnange yamaze dde okubanga asamoninga minister wa works and transport omunno gattamu ate UNRA ne poliisi okubanga bakola ku nsonga ez'okuba nti ebimotoka byonna ebipaakinze ku nguudo ate bijjibwako wabula ne bannannyini byo ate munnange nga bebasasulidde okubanga emmotoka zaabwe zapaakinga ku nguudo ate zivaako bino ebimotoka ebipaakinga ku nguudo munnange biviiriddeko obubenje buyitirivu nnyo era nga buno bufiiriddemu abantu so ensonga eyo katusubire nti nayo egenda kubanga ekolwako njagala kubanga mpunzika amawulire gange naye nga sinaba kubanga nga wunzika ye akulira ekibiina ekya Uganda People's Congress mukulu James Akena ono nno yavuddeyo n'ayogera ku kulonda kwa Oyam North okwakawunzikibwa era nga UPC munnange yavuddewo n'obuwanguzi wabula ono nno ye yategeezezza nti emivuyo egyabadde mu kalulu kano gyabadde miyitirivu nnyo era nti munnange obuwanguzi bwe bwatuuseeko bwayongere ddala okuzzaamu ate ekibiina munnange amaanyi era nga bo kakati beetegefu nnyo akalulu konna akanaabakazzeeko bakkiriza nti bajja kusobola okuba nga bakawuuta buva. Omukulembeze w'ekibiina ekya UPC yategeezezza nti tebagenda kubanga bakkiriza ekibiina kya NRM okulinnyirira enkolagana y'obwasseruganda ate nno munnange gye balina wakati waabwe okubafutubbalako ate ne batuuka n'okubabba obululu munnange nga balaba. Kinajjukirwa nti omukulembeze w'ekibiina kye ekya UPC rawundi nnyo mu kalonda kwa Oyam North era nga ono nno yalabibwako nga bayisinganya ebisongovu ate awamu n'omukulu Tank Odoy ono nno yakulira ebyokulonda mu kibiina ekya NRM nga babavunaana okuba nti lwenyigidde baba waliwo okubbibwako obululu naye nga munnange yategeezezza nti okulonda kuno kwa Oyam North obuwanguzi bwavuddeyo nabwo ye munnange bwabazizzaamu nnyo amaanyi era nga kati bakkiriza nti bakyalina obuganzi eri abantu. Mu kulonda kuno Dr. Eunice Otuko Apio yawangula akalulu kano era nga munnange oyo nno kakati mubaka wa Oyam North. Njagala kubanga ate munnange nfunayo eggulire limu lyembawa ate tugende mu kuwummulamu ku bwe tukomawo mukulu Maseruka Sadat ne munnange Rogers Tudahabwe tujja kuba nga tukutwalira ddala mu maaso. Munnange mu ggwanga erya Kenya okwekalakaasa nno yo ate munnange kwabadde kusitudde enkundi era nga abawagizi b'ekibiina kya Azimio la Umoja era munnange bano nno nga bali wansi wa Raila Odinga ate badde batukiza buto okwekalakaasa olunaku olw'eggulo nga bawakanya gavumenti ya President William Ruto gye bagamba nti munnange edibaze nnyo ebyenfuna by'eggwanga. Kinajjukirwa nti baneeno baali beekalakaasaako gye buvuddeko still nga beemulugunya ku nsonga y'ebyenfuna mu ggwanga n'ebbeeyi y'ebintu. Kale munnange olunaku olw'eggulo ne batukiza buto ate okwekalakaasa. Kigambibwa nti waliwo omuntu eyafiiridde mu kwekalakaasa kuno ekyaleetedde ate omukulu Raila Odinga okubagamba ate okusooka okuzzaako ebigere emabega olw'omuntu eyafiiridde mu njega eno. Naye tetukyagenda maaso n'okuba nga tunoonyereza ku mawulire gano gye binaaba biggweredde munnange tujja kusobola okuba nga nabyo tubibawa nga bwe binaaba bitambudde. Ku ddakiika 24 zakayita ku ssaawa 2 ez'amakya g'olunaku olwaleero The Mighty Drive ekyagenda mu maaso tugenda kuba tuwummulamuko katono nnyo bwenkomawo ngenda kuba nga neggatibwako munnange Rogers Tudahabwe n'omugenyi waffe olunaku olwaleero omukulu Maseruka Sadat ava mu kibiina ekya Alliance for National Transformation. Tugenda kuba twogera ku nsonga ez'enjawulo ezikwata ku kibiina n'ensonga ez'abavubuka. Tuwummulamu katono nnyo tukomawo.
The Alternative Digitalk. Real issues, real talk.
Looking for a pair of shoes? Let's Up Stores has a wide range of selection for unisex footwear. We have the best quality of all brands at pocket-friendly prices and we make deliveries countrywide. Just place your order or reach us on 0772 08 0090. You can also check up at Let's Up Stores on all our social media platforms. Let's Up, craft your own footprints.
Go to the church, though.
Tawali man, what's up?
Man, can you imagine people just dump everywhere? Someone drinks water and throws the bottle wherever.
Come on, Rogers. What else do you expect people to do with an empty bottle?
Simanya now, Bikoda. Did you know that plastics take at least 450 years to decompose?
What? That's a long time.
Exactly, because plastics are made out of a lightweight and flexible material that doesn't decompose easily. And plastics everywhere in the environment cause plastic pollution.
What is plastic pollution now?
It is the accumulation of plastic waste in the environment, like bottles, polythene bags, straws. All of these contribute to plastic pollution.
I have been using them without knowing their effect.
Yeah, a lot of people have. Plastics are a danger to the ecosystem, both on land and in water.
So how can we overcome this problem? Is there something we can do?
Oh yes, we can reduce by minimizing the use of plastics, reuse by repurposing them, or recycle by collecting and processing them into new products.
Everyone wants to change the world, but no one wants to change themselves for the world.
How about we change our habits for the world?
And it starts with me and you.
This message is brought to you by Alternative Digitalk.
Hi, Rogers. Can I ask you something?
Shoot.
What does corruption mean?
Well, summarily, corruption is abuse of public power for personal gain or for the benefit of a group to which one owes allegiance. For example, when a public office is abused by an official accepting or soliciting a bribe. By the way, private people can be corrupt too, like bribing police officers to escape fines.
Okay. So exactly how does that concern me?
Well, do you pay taxes?
I guess, yeah. What does that have to do with this?
Everything. Because those taxes you pay are supposed to facilitate services you use, like water, electricity, roads construction, medicines in hospitals, name it.
Okay, that is much bigger than I thought. But it can be stopped, right?
Well, yes it can, although it may not be as easy as it sounds. And here is the reason why. Corruption roots are grounded in our country's social, political, economic, bureaucratic traditions and policies.
So, what has kept it going this long? I mean, why don't we stop it?
Well, the main reason why it has been here for so long is because institutions are weak, either as a result of poorly defined ethical standards of public service, weak administrative and financial systems, or ineffective watchdog agencies.
What can we do to stop it?
At a national level, we must focus on strengthening the independence and effectiveness of public institutions that fight corruption. At a personal level, we must commit to never giving a bribe.
I promise I'll never give a bribe.
Well, that's a great decision you have made. Me and you now have to spread this message to all our friends. If we all do our part, corruption will be no more.
This message is brought to you by Alternative Digitalk.
The Alternative Digitalk. Real issues, real talk.
Wasuzota mananga kede naffe lunaku lwakuna nakukedde bulungi kansubire gwe akyali mu kikunta wakitadde dda wabbali yasobola okubanga ogenda okuyiya obulamu bw'ensi eno bunyuma nnyo ng'olinamu kasente ate bunyuma nnyo nga munange tosabiriza so alimukira ddala ogenda ate okyuse ku mbeera okyuse ku bulamu nga onoonyeza ekigulira amagala eddiba ate munange obulamu busobole okuba nga bukunyumira lunaku lwakuna ate bwe tulina okuba nga tukuweereza ennaku z'omwezi ziri 13 tuli mwezi ogwa July mwaka 2023 nze omumbejja luwedde Lilian mu studio esitudde mu bwomu ntudde munange Roger studio habwe agenda kuba nga abalamusaako n'omugenyi waffe ow'olunaku olwaleero ku Maseruka Sadat aba mu kibiina ekya Alliance for National Transformation kulembeze abavubuka era ng'olunaku olwaleero ensonga zetugenda okuba nga twogerako zikwata ku bavubuka munanga ajja kuba tubuulira mu nkambi ya Alliance for National Transformation embeera eryetya abavubuka biki programs ki ezo zebalinawo nga ziyamba abavubuka obanga nabo basobola okuba nga baziganyulwamu kwoti yaffe y'olunaku olwaleero egamba nti youth comes Youth comes but once in a lifetime. Youth comes once in a lifetime. Bw'oba oli muvubuka ekyo nno kijja kubeerawo kijja omulundi gumu. Bw'okaddiwa tosobola kuddayo mu buvubuka bwo. So obuvubuka bwo buno bw'olimu obukozeseza otya. Guno omukisa gujja omulundi ogwo gumu. Bw'obuuka stage eyo ey'abavubuka lwejja mpozi ogamba bayita batya? Senior citizens, no, batunafuuka senior citizen. Babayita batya abali wakati w'abayouth ne ba senior citizen. Olina erinnya lyotera okubawo.
Nayegaseze nalyo.
Anyway, bw'oba oli muvubuka
The Alternative Digitalk. Real issues, real talk.
Go to the church, though.
Tawali man, what's up?
Man, can you imagine people just dump everywhere? Someone drinks water and throws the bottle wherever.
Come on, Rogers. What else do you expect people to do with an empty bottle?
Simanya now, recorder. Did you know that plastics take at least 450 years to decompose?
What? That's a long time.
Exactly. Because plastics are made out of a lightweight and flexible material that doesn't decompose easily. And plastics everywhere in the environment cause plastic pollution.
What is plastic pollution now?
It is the accumulation of plastic waste in the environment, like bottles, polythene bags, straws. All of these contribute to plastic pollution.
I have been using them without knowing their effect.
Yeah, a lot of people have. Plastics are a danger to the ecosystem, both on land and in water.
So how can we overcome this problem? Is there something we can do?
Oh yes, we can reduce by minimizing the use of plastics, reuse by repurposing them, or recycle by collecting.
The Alternative Digitalk. Real issues, real talk.
A very good morning, ladies and gentlemen. You're welcome to today's edition of The Mighty Drive. My name is Roger Soyawe, and thank you so much, Lillian, for giving us a highlight about the news and issues that have happened around the society. You did give us the mighty global news updates about what has happened around the country. And that obviously informs what we do next and how we approach certain things. So today, we are talking about a discussion about political youth wings, but generally youth participation in politics. And not just for the participation rhetorics, but to dive deep into, is it effective? Does it make sense? Or do we just want to tick off a participation box? Do we want to get a group of people? Like you see the marginalized, do you have women represented and it's just for the representation's sake? Are they really meaningfully or succinctly representing the issues of youth? If in political parties we have youth leagues, are they contributing to the mainstream policies that actually shape the direction of the parties? Or are they just there to be given what to do or say? Do they really represent? So that is what we want to look at in this place. And when you look at the global population generally, I think about over 50%, I think about 52 or 50 something, population of the world is under the age of 30, and that I hope includes those that should be representing youth in especially politics, seeing as it gives direction and clarity for everything that happens in communities. So today, We have a gentleman who is from the Alliance for National Transformation. He's going to say his name and just a little bit about himself, and he will tell us where he is. And of course, he's going to represent the youth wing that he's a part of. And he'll be giving us a highlight of what participation looks like, collectively, generally, but also in the party that he comes from, if that does hold a meaning or if it does contribute to the direction of his party particularly. Good morning, sir. You may introduce yourself.
Well, good morning, viewers. Sadat Maseruka is my name. I am the interim youth coordinator for the Central Region in the ANT. Yes, I'm happy and glad to be here today. Yes, to have a discussion, though I am not inclined towards narrowing this discussion to only ANT, because the youth participation includes those that are non-aligned to any political associations or movements. So it is generally to have a discussion why people of a certain age bracket are stagnating in some leadership positions. So I'm glad to be here at the Digitalk house.
What are you up to in the NT? Generally, I mean, we'll narrow down to the youth and the youth league.
Narrowly, as ANT, generally as the country, as ANT, yes. we focused the first things first. Having people to give them direction, they must be given a specific set of instructions. So you cannot tell people to act in a specific way, not until you give them the necessary skills and the information to act in that way. So we have majorly invested in capacity building of our leaders, in civic competence of those leaders, so that if time or a call comes to act in a specific way, they are in position and they know what to do. So basically, as the ANT Youth League and as the ANT, we are basically making sure that there is information out there to our members, the information that they need, the civic leadership competence to have it, so that at any time an opportunity avails itself to any of our members to represent us anywhere in any leadership position, they are capable of representing us ably.
Yes. For knowledge's sake, what do you mean by civic competence?
Well, by civic competence, I mean by equipping leaders, especially the young people, with the necessary skills set in leadership and governance, accountability and integrity matters, so that they are in position to exhume those ideals when they are given an opportunity to serve their country. Yes.
I've seen you have been going around, I think, was it last week or this week when you were in the Northern Region? I saw you some other time you were in the Kamwenge side with the leaders of the ANT. How is that doing? And what exactly is that? Is that the you making people aware and giving them the civic competence?
While the ANT was being formed, which is now coming to 4 years ago, the issue was that we are supposed to build a political party that is grassroots based, that has structures and has its membership on all presence in all villages in this country. So the movement is the movements that we are making are to make sure that young people or people that form the basic core of the party are in the structures of the party and they are well informed of their role as members of the party. So we were in Eastern Europe of recent, and what we do is to bring together leaders and create a structure or structures that will culminate into what we call the party structures. The issue of building from up to bottom, we found it that is problematic. By the time you reach the grassroots, the message has been diluted. We believe that the most core people that are affected by decisions that are being made and those that make actually impacting decisions are in the local councils or are in the villages. So we started by creating awareness, building the civic mass from those very areas, moving upwards. That's why some of you already stated that ANT is moving at a slow pace. We clearly know what to do if we are to move at the pace that you want us to move to. But doing similar things and expect different results is also a problem for those that are doing them. We know that if we can come and mobilize Kampala within 1 week and we are all over the international news. But the most important thing is reaching to the people that actually do not have TVs, that only listen to you on radios, that will only have an opportunity to meet you, maybe even once in their lifetime. But that interaction that you have can be impactful to their lives. So we are concentrating on that.
Okay. Abavubuka omanyi twagala nnyo bino ebintu eby'omuliro. Ebintu ebimoving very, very fast. How have you been able to spread that message to them that, you know what, we are moving slowly, but then we have that goal that we want to achieve?
Nga bw'obanga ogula ebintu mu katale, the options.
Yeah.
Ugamba nti waliwo amatooke, waliwo omuceere, waliwo n'obumonde. So there are a lot of political spaces where whatever everybody wants to, they can be in position to participate in that arena. If we really believe nti ebyobufuzi ebyange nja kuba bina kubeera bya bugubugu, sina soka ku planning aba kulowooza ku kiki ngenda kukola, there is a specific group of people that is doing that. And you can be part of that.
But then someone actually believes in Alliance for National Transformation.
Yes.
And they want things to move at a very faster speed compared to how things are done right now.
That is what we call the misplacement of priorities. You clearly know that the organization that I am part of is doing things in a specific way. But at the same time, you want it to behave in a different way. The reason as to why you chose it is because it is different from others.
Yes.
And in that regard, onokukola oba okutambulira mu ebyo ebigifuule ey'enjawulo ku balala.
Let me ask you Sadat. Let me ask you just for that point. Sorry for cutting you just a little bit.
Yeah.
Now, you are also a party that says you represent the people.
Yeah.
Yes.
Or at least every party wants us to believe that.
Yes.
When you represent the people, and the people will tell you that this and that is what we think can work, does it matter what the people think is going to work or what the party believes is going to work?
You see,
who, in this case, holds the higher ground to make a decision that gives a direction to the party?
This question is very good, and I'm glad you have asked it. Who are the people, and what is a political party? A political party is a group of people.
Yes.
And forming a political party, it's a group of people that form that political party. A group of people sat, analyzed the problems of this country, came up with a political party with policies, guidelines, and a constitution. And it is in those policies, guidelines, and the constitution that that party behaves in that particular way. So you are saying that there is another group of people that does not believe that this policy formed by the other group of people and the guidelines provided by the other group of people, it is just a thinking that, especially when you are few people, you may think that your idea is the most ideal. But when you hear different perspectives, you really understand that you are actually sometimes debating or arguing at the point of ignorance. Yes, there are those that believe that we should act in a very fast supersonic speed. But they should also know that the political party is formed of people, and very many people that believe that this is the right way to go. That they have tried all other means, they have been part of all other formations, and they have been doing things in a very supersonic speed, and they have not achieved anything. And they chose that now the decision is that we build a structure, that we build an actual political party. It is not easy, but it does not mean it is not possible. Yes. Because the smallest, that the things that you want to act at a fast speed have led us to nowhere. You cannot tell individuals that have been part of 2 or 3 political parties and they have been behaving in a specific way that chose to say that now I think we should form the Alliance for National Transformation. Now a certain Sadat comes and tells them, no, we should do as it has been being done the other side. No, but we are from there. You are taking us back to things that we have done, but they have not been working. So a political party is formed of individuals. And those individuals are Ugandans. And they believe that the decision they are taking and the direction they are taking is the right direction. Let not any other group of Ugandans believe that their rights in the party is superior to
the others. They are
because in harmony, all forms of people must exist. And it is stated clearly.
And all their opinions should matter.
Yes, and that's what I was saying, that their opinions should matter But again, we should also understand the concept of democracy. That the majority must have their way, and they may not have their say. Yes, you can have your opinion, but you should always understand that there are always alternatives and options that can move to in the way that you want to move. Because the Ugandan population, again, you should understand that based on how many people that are registered to vote in every election, how many actually turn up to vote. But have you ever noticed to ask yourself that why is it that the majority do not vote? Yet they have 7 or 8 candidates.
They just concluded elections of Oyam North.
Yes.
The voter turnout was very low.
Yes. The issue is if those people had been given another space.
And reasons as to why that voter turnout was very low were that it rained in the morning. Actually, it rained half day, I think.
Yes.
A reason as to why most of the voters didn't
I don't believe that. I don't believe that is a reason.
I don't also believe.
Because
it
is just an excuse.
us.
The issue is the messages out there do not reason with the people that are actually voting. For instance, had they been given an option that apart from all of these people that are contesting, is there any other person you would like to be your leader? You write the name down. You will find that somebody is not contesting but is getting votes. So that's why you'll find that people are saying that there are options here. But they are not representing us.
But
so
the people are those options. Those options are not offering themselves to serve.
That is what so do you mean that if a certain idea is not fronted, it should be thrown in the dustbin?
It may not necessarily.
Yes.
But then I also think, again, democracy. Should it not matter that even the very least of those people should be considered?
You'll find that if you follow the true principles of democracy, it is that idea, if you look at the numbers, that has the highest number of supporters. That's what we are saying as ANT, that most of the people do not like the kind of politics we are playing. Most of the people shun away from voting.
Do you believe in numbers?
Interrogate why?
Do you believe in numbers, Maseruka? Sorry.
Yes, I do believe in numbers. And I believe that the entire 40% or 38% of the Ugandan population does not vote. Yet they come and register for voting. The problem is they are not represented. They don't feel that any candidate or the kind of politics that is being resumed represents the country they want. We are providing an alternative that amongst the available, all the available options, there is a section of young people, old people, that believe that we should have politics that is sane, politics that is decent. And we want to provide that opportunity to those people to come and also express their idea. So that...
But is that even feasible, having the kind of politics you're telling us?
That is not... Why not? Why is it not feasible? Because we are accustomed to being relegated to secondary things. We are accustomed to being relegated to receiving the worst amongst us. No, they are best people amongst us. They are good people amongst us. And we can do better as a country.
That's right.
And therefore, it is possible. The numbers clearly show that there is a huge section of people that you talk about politics, they will switch off their TV. They will believe that it is chaos, it is fighting, it is all sorts of exchange of insults.
Because that is how that concept has been designed.
And that is why the ANT is coming up. That's why the ANT is moving at the pace it is moving to awaken those people, to tell them that yes, we are here. Come and we bring that kind of politics to the fore. And when you look at the situation, people are shying away from voting because of the militarization, because of the violence and all kinds of manners, and also the kind of candidates that are being fronted. You'll find that in some by-elections, people go on with their usual businesses because the candidates there, they do not represent their values.
Let me ask you. You did say that a lot, and I quote, a lot of people may not exactly believe in how you do things or in your approach.
Some people, not lots of people.
I'm phrasing the way you said it. But that aside, that's besides the point. So some people, let's go with some people, may not necessarily believe the approach. Have you interrogated why that is so?
Yes.
And what are you doing about it?
Yes, we have interrogated it, and we see that, for instance, if somebody has been accustomed to eating 1 meal a day, they may think that it is the modus operandi. Yet that a normal human being must be having 3 meals a day. So people have been accustomed to the bad kind of politics that we are having. Almost since independence, we have never had a politics that is same, that is not attributed to insults, to demeaning, to making others feel inferior. That is politics that is not tribalized. So we understand that we are trying to bring people back to what we call the right course. So it is not easy, and we understand that those people will always challenge things that are in their own favor. As I've told you before, somebody that has grown up all their lifetime believing that having 1 meal a day is the best thing that you can have in your life. So if you bring him in a home that is eating 3 meals a day, we call it wastage. But it is medically proven that somebody must be healthy and have a course meal at different intervals. So we are saying that it is basic and best practices to have an institution that respects people's ideas, that is respects the leaders it has, that is moving and it is institutionalized and structured, whereby it is not how you are connected to the leaders, but how you are moving through the steps and structures of the party. How you have been groomed to become a leader, not just landing from wherever you are and seeking to represent people. We are providing that benchmark. It is not easy. We shall be challenged by the real beneficiaries of these policies. And we set out knowing that there are those that have been accustomed to what is existing, but they will have, over time, understand that this is the right way to go.
Have our elders contributed to shaping a good way for the politics that we need to have in this country?
Majority of the leaders have been nurtured in the bad politics that we are in. Changing people's mindset, especially the elders, is problematic, because that's why Rogers has been saying that there is a group of people that say that you are not moving fast enough. It is because they believe that a formula they have been exploiting and been using to make small gains, individual gains, is the one that we should be using.
But moving fast enough in itself is not the problem.
Yes. Moving fast enough to do what? Because, for instance, you are called here for an interview at 8. Yes, you come at 6. That's not bad. But the question is,
what are you going to do at 6?
Yes, what are you going to do at 6? So arriving also before your time.
It doesn't matter that you came at 6.
It doesn't. It doesn't even make sense to say, okay, thank you for coming early, but so you are saying us, you're not moving fast enough to go where and to do what?
We are preparing for the 2026 elections.
Yes, and 2026 elections are being prepared for at the right time, and we are moving at the right pace. You cannot tell me that I should now pin or make posters for 2026. It will be okay.
That is resources.
But really, it will raise questions.
That's fair. You mentioned, and I was trying to get some of the things you said. You said that the majority should always have a way.
Yes.
As far as democracy is concerned.
Yes.
This country has over 78% of its population young people,
yes,
or at least people below the age, I think, of 35, as far as our constitution is concerned. I want you to put that in the context of politics and how much percentage of the 78% who are extra majority, in fact, not just majority, and how it reflects in the national politics.
The reflection of the youth politics is worrying, especially in Africa. This is because we are accustomed to having, let me give first of all the cultural perspective, that we give a lot of respect and attach a lot of respect to age. So you will find that most of the people will tend not to give opportunities to young people because of their still growing age. And yet you'll find that in most of the decisions that are being made, it is these young people that have first-time experiences and the ones that are being affected the most. So when you look at the statistics, there's a discrepancy between the youth bulge and the actual representation of the young people.
Yes.
And this is brought about by one of the institutionalized cultural settings of Africa. For instance, you cannot be regarded among the elders when you have not achieved certain aspects of life. Yes, you are not married, you are not employed, you are not running a family. In that regard, there are certain communities that you cannot propel yourself or market yourself as a leader. Because for them, they believe that one to lead them has to fulfill some societal obligations. So in that regard, you will find that most of the young people at the current, in this current generation, have different perspectives on such obligations. Somebody believes that what is most important is me gaining the acquired knowledge and experience to represent fellow young people. Yet the things that they require of me take time, and in the long run do not actually reflect me being a good leader. For instance, being a family man does not mean that you're treating your family very well, so that you are being given an opportunity to take care of the village. Secondly, having a family or being a prominent businessman does not in any way mean that you are equipped with the necessary wisdom to be an MP for the area. So you will find that these societal challenges bog down young people to occupy those spaces. Secondly, the issue of chronism. You'll find that only those young people that are cronies of the current elders are being given the opportunity to exploit them, not based on their competence. And you'll find that in this regard, amongst the young people, the worst are chosen. So the worst are chosen and given opportunities that actually work to disenfranchise the young people. For instance, if a young person that is not ready for leadership is made an MP, there was a very young MP for some time, I think, was in from Teso sub-region.
Yeah.
And
one at 19.
Yeah, at 19 she was an MP. So she became the beacon and an assessment of how young people can take over leadership responsibilities. She performed at the worst. So wherever a young person rises up in that area, they will remind them of a young lady they gave power, and she behaved in like a disco way. So, but she was not the first. She was not prepared to take that power. She was not groomed, or she was not the best amongst the young people to be given as an example or to represent the young people. Mm-hmm. So, but because of her proximity, the dead father, and all other politics at play, she was able to make it to parliament, and she was used now
as a benchmark. As
a benchmark for all the other young people. Mm. And whenever a young person, 20, 25, comes up, they will remind them that you're not ready. We gave so and so an opportunity, and she misused that opportunity. Mm. So you also further move and see that when there are engagements, especially on leadership in political parties, there is a competition between the young and the old. So this doesn't give the young people what we call the necessary safe spaces to discover themselves. They are always thinking what they are doing is not yet right, or what they are doing must not in any way antagonize what the elders are doing. So you find that political parties don't give the young people spaces to also exhibit their talents. For instance, there is the only organization that tried to give, in Uganda, to give young people an opportunity to be themselves, to manage their own affairs in a political party. I think that was the Democratic Party, whereby it had a youth wing that was autonomous.
And we'll talk about autonomy.
Whereas the Youth League was autonomous, but it was subscribing to the ideals of the party. But others, all others, the Youth Leagues are
political desks, just desks.
They just have desks. Others are semi-autonomous in words, but not in practice. Others are not autonomous. They have no form of autonomy. They just have a desk, a representative there, and they believe that the youth are represented. So when you try to see that kind of relationship, it is like a cat and mouse relationship. You find that in a house you have cats and rats, but whereas they may all play in the same house, one is scared that the other is about to eat them. So they are always in a cat and mouse game. So that doesn't give us the young people the necessary environment to grow and to showcase our talents to the world.
Okay.
Thank you so much, our viewers. It's still the Mighty Drive. We are going in for a very short commercial break. Okay. My producer says we continue with the show. So, tujira tukyakikubirako katono nnyo tugende mu maaso. But Alliance for National Transformation, you've been on ground, building structures and all that. How has been the reception? Has the message sunk in?
The reception is good. For the message sinking in or not, it will depend on their action towards receiving that message. But we are doing our part, passing on the message. And the message has reached in areas that we have so far been to. So we are, as you go and plant, you wait for the seeds to germinate. We are very optimistic that the ground on which we planted our seeds or our message is fertile, it will germinate. And we are very sure that the approach we took, the decisions we took, that we should now build a structure or an organization from the grassroots was the best, because people out there support things they are not in know of. They support things out of psychophancy, not even understanding the ideologies and principles or policies of an organization. So with an opportunity with ANT, persons or people join and support an organization well-knowing of its ideals, well-knowing of its constitution, well-knowing of its ideology, so that they do not demand for what is not there. They clearly know that the organization I joined behaves in this specific way. And I, as an individual, I subscribed well-knowing that this is the way we are going to go. Not to change in any way and demand for what you all clearly knew that you weren't part of at the beginning.
Let us start from there.
Yes.
Let us start from there. And I'm glad you brought that up. When youth are, including yourself and all the others who are leaders, or should we say, when they are looking for votes or they are speaking, we like the word participation every time and again. Participation, youth participation, representation. It's a song on the street every single day. But as it happens, and when you look at political parties and the youth leagues now, that is a topic of discussion, do you feel that the youth provide the alternatives, or the party gives them the alternatives to stand for?
The ideal or the realistic situation would have been that the youth should put pressure on their parties to make sure that these parties act in a specific way to serve the majority, which are the young people. But the realistic situation is the kind of politics that we are having is, one, commercialized. Two, is dominated by people that are in their evenings. And these are the people that have the means and resources. It is very hard to push for an idea that we're not going to fund. So the young people will always bring ideas that will be kept in the shelves because they do not have the necessary means to push those ideas. They will end up, in the long run, implementing ideas of those that have the means. So that's how
society works.
It is not how society works. Society must work in support of an idea for all. For instance, if you are saying that is how society works, would we be still having a country if the president of this country all the time had his way?
No, it's not about his way, but you also know that the world is ruled by the 1%, the people who have the means.
The people who have the means, the 1% we're talking about, is the why we are agitating day and night to have a change of that. Because the having 1% dominate and decide for the 99% is disastrous. There must be equitable distribution of those resources. Secondly, the scenario would have been that let superior arguments win. It's not about who has the money. It's about who has the idea. Let funding, let support go to an idea that is superior, not who has the money. For instance, one of the challenges we're having, especially around moral decayance, is because people that have the means are the ones that have a lot of vices they want to fund. But because we are saying that because they have the means, they have the money, we can grasp and take in whatever they are supporting. I find that is outrageous. Funding, support for anything should go to an idea that is superior amongst others. That's what we are saying. That in a political party, when we come together, young and old, we all become members of a political party. And our contributions must be equated at equal footing.
On the basis of membership.
On the basis of membership. But it is not the situation. The situation will be that the most vocal ideas, the most important ideas will be shelved at the expense of the ideas of those that control the money. That's why you find that the youth leagues have desks, because a youth league that is autonomous has the capacity to mobilize its own resources, has the capacity to organize its own programs, has the capacity to move and roll out its own programs and implement them without the intervention of the mother party. In this regard, most of the leaders at the top find that if we cannot control these people, if we cannot control how they manage their resources, we may end up not finding people to implement our ideas. And in this regard, they make sure that they control from the resources to program implementation. That's why most have desks. There's a youth desk, yet it is the most critical of all the most critical organ in the political party, representing the most number of people in the organization. So we find that the stagnation of young people is also is in most cases not as a result of their own making. It is because there are those that always feel scared that with the growth of young people, within a short period of time, they will have nothing to tell the country. Secondly, the limited access to resources by young people cannot enable them to fund their own ideas, to organize themselves in a specific fashion that believes in youth leadership. So they will always have to depend on their elders so that they get that necessary support, which in most cases does not come.
So with that in mind, and in context, I want to still go back to the youth league and all of that as a position. Do you think that youth contribute to like a party policy development? Party on the party basis. Let's not go now to the national politics, because then obviously if they contribute, they will have to be pushed to the other side. So maybe the lack of the people on the other side is because they're not contributing. Do you think, and as a member of the ANT Youth League, do you contribute to party policy development?
As the ANT Youth League, we sit at the top organ of the party. By default, we contribute to the policy development of the party. But that does not mean that sitting or being provided space at the high table will be in position to have a share, or a large share, on the cake that is being shared there. Yes. The problem that we are also facing is that the pseudo-representation. When you put the question of youth representation and participation on table, they will tell you that 53% of the parliament is full of young people. But actually, are they in key decision-making positions? You'll find that they will tell you that, yes, you have 5 representatives of the young people in parliament. So the issue of giving us seats and positions to sit on the executives in our political parties without giving us meaningful participation of actually having a clear share on the decisions that are being made is not beneficial to the young people. Yes, the ANT Youth League sits at the interim decision-making table. But the question is, and has been, is the sitting of the young people at that top organ reflected in the decisions that are being made? The answer will be no. You'll find that, yes, you will be heard, your decisions will be respected, but the party will have its own mechanisms or its own ideas that they want to front. unlike other political parties. The ANT is privileged that whereas the young people have an opportunity to sit at the top organ of the party and participate in policy development of the party, they also have an opportunity to develop their own policy, distinct from
the party's position.
And the role of the party in that discussion is to guide and implement that policy. But so that the young people are not covered or their decisions are not diluted or submerged into the decisions of the mother party. And this gives the youth an opportunity to get a clear path on what to follow as the youth policy. Yes, the ANT passed the youth policy this year, and it was endorsed by the mother party. And it is going to be rolled out. But in the larger spectrum of political participation, you'll find that apart from sitting and priding in being members of NEC, members of in parliament, you'll find that the young people actually don't have tangible representation they do make, whereas they sit on those organs. So the decisions that are being made are actually made from somewhere else. They are just there as figureheads to represent and to show that there is also this class of people that is represented.
Again, like I said when I was beginning, to tick off the representation.
That is precisely what's happening. But
So,
also,
sorry to cut you short, Mr. Maseruka. So you want to mean that we don't need youth leaders?
You need leaders. They're not supposed to necessarily to be youth leaders. Leadership without a title is the most important thing, because what makes one a young person is their age. So you calling me a leader or youth leader, by virtue of my age, I will be youth. So the most important thing is that also these titles keep us in some comfort zones. You believe that the only docket that we must participate in or we must contribute to is the youth docket. So if you say that, yes, I'm a leader in the ANT, this gives a wider thinking that, yes, I'm representing the people of ANT, not only a specific section of the ANT. So by saying that we do away with youth leaders, I agree. Because if you say that the 78% of the world population, they are the young people, that means that they are the old people, or they are the actual majority of the people that should have the clear representation. Why should the majority have a minority representation? Why should the majority be represented when it's supposed to be the vice versa? I would be happy if they say that, yes, in the Ugandan parliament, for instance, amongst all the MPs that are there, we also gave slots to the elderly people.
Is all of this problem because of youth themselves being incompetent? Is it because the other people who dominate the spaces are not giving them enough space?
No, it is first of all, the youth in this country are very, very competent. Well-trained young people do exist, and they can provide and offer leadership.
Thank you.
Many have come up and they have shown that they are able to show leadership.
You also said that over 50%, you said 53, did you say?
Yes.
That of the people who are in parliament are young people.
Yes.
Yes. But
So
you also said that the 53
Yes.
is not competently contributing to the positions that especially represent the constituents of young people.
The 53 is not competently contributing to the issues of the young people. This is because they believe that they are not representing young people. That's why I was saying we do away with the issue of saying that this one is a youth representative, so that we believe that whatever we need from young people, we should go to a specific group of people. Yet it is the 53. When we are making a decision that we are electing the 53, but clearly knowing that they are representing the majority, which are the youth, we shall have a keen eye when we're making that decision. But the 53 shy away from actually providing leadership to the young people because they don't believe that we're representing young people.
In other words, it's a problem of a youth leader.
The problem is the titling of youth leadership. Saying
The
that
titling would have no problem.
it's a problem because if, for instance, Rogers, you are the youth MP for Western Uganda, you believe that you are not representing the entire population of Western Uganda. You are only representing the youth of Western
Uganda.
Now, a person that is elected to represent a constituency in Western Uganda may believe that the issues of young people don't concern him, yet he's a young person like you. If we do away with that, they say Rogers and Sadat are MPs, but by virtue of their age, they're already youth.
But I think we need to share. We need to share power. We need to share responsibilities and roles.
That is it. That is. Thank you so much. That's what I was saying. That
because the area MP will not tackle the issues of the youth. Because they believe
because he has been given a title that for me I'm an area MP. You go to the youth MP, but you may find that even the area MP is younger than the youth MP.
So that person may not be able to handle each and everything.
Do away with the thinking that we need to have titles that youth so and so. I was saying, I'm giving an example of the ANT. If I sit at the interim level, when I make a contribution towards the entire general membership of the ANT, they will say the youth have their issues. Instead of saying that this is an issue that regarded the entire party, because they believe that you are there to represent only, yet you are there to represent the youth who are the majority. That means you are representing the entire population. The moment we do away with saying that no, there is no position for young people, if you are elected as an MP by virtue of your age, you are a young person, automatically you are representing issues of young people. We shall have effective leadership. And also, we shall also change in the way we are choosing leaders.
The problem is, Mkulu Maseruka, some of the who are already elected in those positions,
no? Currently, the majority of MPs are less than 35 years of age. But you will not hear them advocating for issues of young people.
Because
yes.
Because
they believe that they are elected to do a different role, the issues of young people is left to only 5
but
MPs.
Of course, you also believe that we never MPs abasusse mu myaka 35 nga bakyali mu parliament abatasobola kutegeera nsonga zino z'abavubuka. So if we do away with youth leaders oba abakulembeze b'abavubuka, won't we be affected oba won't the youths be affected in one way or the other?
Let me bring it in this way. If you're having a phone, but you believe that the phone you are having cannot take good pictures, you need a specific kind of phone, which is an iPhone, let me say. But all phones are communicating. But because it is in your mind that it is only iPhone that will take photos, you will never take photos with the other. But they are all phones and they can do the same
thing.
What I'm saying is that the moment you elect people, saying that these are specifically for youth, these are for the general population,
the elderly and then all that,
you'll find that if you bring them together, they are the same age bracket. 53% of the parliament of Uganda, they are youth, they are older people there. But the 53 that I'm talking about leave the role of advocating for youth issues for only the 5. Yet when they go back to their constituencies, they are also elected by the youth, representing the youth. For instance, the MP for this is much in the what?
Much in the west.
Well, I think yeah.
It's west.
Is it west?
Yes.
For Honorable Sewanyana.
Honorable Sewanyana, I think.
There's Nyeko for the east, I think.
Yes.
Honorable Nyeko is for the east.
Yes, the MP for much in the east. Have you in any way heard him advocating for issues of young people? He's a young person. But because he believes that for me, I'm a representative of much in the east.
Well, first, for the fact he has not advocated for anything. Or anyone for that matter.
No, one mark in the west.
No,
yes, I would like to stick to youth representation.
Okay.
For other matters, other people will talk about them. But I believe that if he had known that I'm elected by the majority who are the young people, he would always be on his mouth talking about them. But he would always say, no, youth, you have your own representatives. So the issue of titling, for instance, I'm stating this, if they are electing people, even in our leagues, even in our political parties, it should be as a result of competence. Let the young people choose one of their own, not as a youth leader. Because when that youth leader go on the table of other leaders, he will be having a cage that we are only waiting for him because
of mulimo gwa kuchikirira bakuvubuka,
which is wrong, because abavubuka bochikirira bebasinga obungi secho.
Yes,
that means woba okola decision eyabavubuka okola decision ya gwanga lyonna, not so. Kati
engeri gye babawula mu region zona awabizibu bya region ye n'oli wa region ye n'ono wa region ye.
You are fitting into the problem. awo wenyini okugambira nti omuvubuka ali e West Nile n'ali e Karamoja. You think by different problems and
they do. Here is the thing. First, please listen to me just for a second. One of the things we have always given, and as a country, that we face is the one shoe fits all kind of approach.
Yes.
Where you want something that works for the West, should work for the North, should.
Work
not
for the
that
Central.
it should. One works for the Central, should work for the East. The East is a part of Uganda, just as much as the Western and Northern and the Central. But the problems that are faced in any of those regions might be a bit different in context. Now, having a youth representation does not mean that because we have a bigger percentage in population, we should necessarily not have a representation, because even these who are leading all of these things, maybe they do not pay attention to the question of age and how that is. So are you now saying that we should leave alone the thing of whatever is there for everyone, and so there should be no attention paid to those particular constituencies?
Your question has two folds. One is you are saying that there is no an approach that sorts youth problems as a whole, that different young people have different challenges.
That's certain.
I agree with you to an extent. And also tell you that one of the challenges that the young people are facing is to believe that their problems are isolated.
They are homogeneous.
No, that they are isolated. That for me, because I'm a young person in Wukedi, due to my environment,
my problems are unique.
My problems are unique from that young person in Bukoma and Simbi. Yes, the magnitude of challenges may differ, but they are always the similar problems. Why? The problems are in employment. I may be looking for a job of a higher salary. Somebody is looking for a job of a lower salary. That is all unemployment.
Everyone on your higher salary.
I'm saying, okay, let me say, I'm looking, for instance, somebody wants to be a teacher and definitely know the salary of a teacher, and somebody wants to, let me say, work in back. So our problems are the same, but at a different scale. Yes, somebody may be having a problem of wanting to be taken to, of having an operation. Somebody does not have a mere Panadol. The issue is the health sector, lack of resources, lack of employment, lack of food, lack of jobs. So the problems we are having are the same.
Some are unique.
The uniqueness of our problems comes in the magnitude. I've never gone in any part of this country, never, and I've found that there is a certain problem that is facing young people in that country, apart from the issues that are peculiar to the female youth. And also those problems are susceptible to all young people female youth basing on the environment they are in. But again, also they cut across.
To an extent.
Thank you so much. So if we are to tackle this problem, we should understand that the population of Uganda, or the population of the world, which is largely young, demands us to act in a specific way. Not to categorize it that if I am from Western Uganda, I am a bit comfortable than a young person from Karamoja. We are all looking for fees. I may be looking for university fees. Somebody may be looking for primary school fees. But the issue is we are all looking for fees. So when we come up and we say that we are electing a person to represent us in our unique problems, we are isolating ourselves from the wider approaches that would have solved our problems. You choose a youth MP, Northern Uganda. Now the youth MP Central will not be touched by the issues of the youth MP, Northern Uganda.
Because they believe there is a representative that side.
Which is right. But at the same time, they should understand that the problems that are in Northern Uganda are the very problems that are in the Central. If you solve the problems in the Central, you are impliedly solving the problems in Northern Uganda. So the issue of categorizing people that, no, for you are only a youth leader, for you are only representing the women, for you, it is a problem. The issue is we must have MPs. We must have representation. And these, by implication, if you remove by the way the position of youth MPs, you will find that 60% of the parliament will turn out youthful. Because the majority of the population, if you go now and ask for votes when for instance, want to be an LC1 chairman at the age of 60, you realize how the young people will treat you.
Now, and let me ask you now in the context of political parties, and which is, again, related to what you're saying. Earlier you said, now, of course, given the fact that we are the majority in the country, the majority of the population, you know that policies that are made day in, day out affect us mostly.
Yes.
Are your parties alive to that and working towards making that work for you?
Political parties are alive to the situation. But also you should find that there are people, as it is in the country, that also fight for their survival. As I said earlier, that there is always a competition amongst young people and the old people. And the old people's game is to make sure that they always delay the transition of young people, because it's a season. Because if you were 20, by the next 5 years you'll be 25. So they will only need more 5 years to also to be regarded as an elder like them. So they will always make sure that they frustrate and delay the process of emerging young politicians. Because being a young person is seasonal and transition. So they do not put up the necessary training and the necessary support, because they believe that you are replacing them anytime soon. So by them buying more time, by delaying your vigor in the youthful stage, it works to their advantage. Because you will not claim to be representing youth when you are now 35. You will now be competing with the 70s, 60s, and 50s. So the problem in the political parties is that if you go there, they will have, first of all, to domicile you into following the instructions of the old people. So the young people find themselves in a dilemma of, should we rebel against the mother party, or should we follow guidance and we become the elders in the future? So many drop out of those organizations. Many toe the line and they end up frustrated, because the people that you want to replace are not leaving anytime soon. If, for instance, if you had a party leader that is 40 and you are 20, you would expect that by the time I become 30, I will be given huge responsibilities in the party. The man will be making 50 and will be more energetic to compete. So the issue has been brought by a lot of other external factors, because also the growth of these elders in the political sphere is also limited. You will find that for the last 37 years, there has not been change in the composition of government. So you'll find that these leaders in political parties have nowhere to go. They would have, if somebody was an opposition leader for 5 years, you'll find at least by change of government, would have been a minister or something, or somewhere in government, and he has relinquished his position in the party. So you'll find that they will also, due to pressure outside there, they also exert pressure inside the political parties, and it moves downwards in that fashion.
Let me first ask you, is service and leadership necessarily should it be at the national level? Because it seems, and again, you did mention that majority of the people in parliament are predominantly youth. Yes?
Younger people.
Young people might be a bit low. Youth, let's put it at youth. So they are predominantly youth. So, and what the goal we are always looking at is that even if I am an LC5, even if I am a youth leader at the sub-county level, the goal should be, I should end up in the National Assembly. Is that where service is? Or is that where the attention should always be? Because I want to assume that even policies that are made at the national level trickles down or comes from the ground up.
So that one we should always blame the framers of the Constitution. That they created a house that was given a lot of responsibilities to make impact in our lives. If you find that the decentralization of leadership or of power in Uganda was not in any way given the necessary support or the actual power that it is as it is in elsewhere. For instance, if you look at Kenya and Nigeria, it is enough for one to be in the governor's council to make a change in the lives of the people that they are representing. But now here in Uganda, it is only impactful leadership. You can only find it in parliament. That's why everybody would like to make a change in their lives personally and also in the lives of others want to go to parliament. That is a constitutional problem. And you cannot blame for leaders to go where they believe that they can make a change. So they will always fight for that house because going in the local councils, there is nothing tangible that you can make for the people. So it is a constitutional problem that we must change. We must ensure that the decentralization of power is in actual sense pure decentralization of power. Because at the end of the day, the house is also going to be overwhelmed by people of all sorts of all walks of lives, but they are not doing anything in regards to changing the welfare of the people. Yet the councils that we are neglecting, that have a clear touch and easily reached by the people, have no power, have no resources, and have no representatives. Because time is going to come and people will say, well, I cannot contest in the local council elections. Yes, I was a councillor for Matuga. There is one time we spent a full 2 years without seeing a certain councillor for a certain area in Wakiso at the district council. So this gentleman, we had a conversation with him. The gentleman told me that when I was contesting, I thought that going in the district council, there's some good money that I will be making. So he spent a lot of money, people. He spent a lot of money, give campaigners and the like. So upon reaching there, they gave me an allowance that was really disappointing. And I asked, that's when I came to realize that I had made a mistake. Goal. No, for him, he was saying that wasting my life in a district council, I'd rather go to jail. So he's now elected, realizing that I cannot serve my people because their demands are many, and I've already spent my money, think that I will maybe get it in any other way. I'd rather go look for money elsewhere, come and serve my people, than come and sit here. He was saying that I am the council, but what I'm getting there cannot in any way support my people. So I will have to move around the country. You don't call me for your meetings, for your council meetings. You pass your bylaws and the likes. For me, I know what my people want.
I think his intentions were not his people.
If
we are interrogating the situation,
be as it may, the man did not attend. He shunned the council for the 5 years because he realized the council does not have the power, does not have the means to take care of his electorates. That is his submission.
Okay. One last, sorry, Lydia, just one last one. Yes. Parties ordinarily have power depending on the representation they have in national assemblies and all of that. Now, if we are saying that we have a lot of youth there, but also the youth in party structures are only known for supporting campaigns and recruiting new members, and that is all. Should we then blame the youth or the youth leaders in the national assemblies for the non-performance of the parties because they are in position to influence the positions of the parties? No.
I will give an example of a country like South Africa. The youth should also, first of all, understand that we are not a privileged lot or class of people, that anything that we want must be just handed over to us. Whereas decisions are made, whereas the space is limited, there must be a concerted effort to work to occupy that space. When you look at South Africa, there was a lot of strangulation of the youth league, of the ruling party. But the young people resolved that they will walk out of that party, they will get their own space somewhere else, and they are moving, and they will be celebrating 10 years of forming their political organization, the EFF. And ever since that lot walked out of the EFF, it did not mean that ANC did not elect other youth leaders, but those that came after those that left have not been in position to occupy that space. The issue is, in our political parties, the spaces are limited. But acquiring those spaces and occupying the entire space is that we must also work in a specific way. We should not also think that lamenting and complaining is the solution to our problems. We should also act in a specific way to make these people aware that these are our positions and this is what we believe in. And this is what we are ready to fight for. Other than we always inhaling and accepting whatever that is coming from them. Secondly, we should be innovative. Lack of what to do and you are at the party headquarters, somebody will utilize you to go and pin posters in their constituencies. You should always be innovative, creative, and also engaged in your own constituencies. Also creating change elsewhere so that you are not available to be used in stone throwing. You cannot accuse somebody for exploiting you when you yourself are not utilizing your own efforts. We are young. We need guidance. True. But also we should not believe that being a young person is a privilege. Being a young person means hard work. It is when you are supposed to show or shape yourself on what you want to be in the future. Right. So you hanging around the party headquarters year in, year out, you are making yourself a target of being used. You are creating yourself a problem of being sent everywhere to pin posters. So why don't you utilize that time and energy you have to create something for yourself, to also mobilize for yourself? That is what they did in the EFF. They said, yes, apart from campaigning for one president to the other, they took create their own president. They formed their own political party.
The youth.
They are now adults. But ever since they left the ANC Youth League, it also died off because it was a deliberate effort. It was a deliberate move for the young people to say that the spaces out there, if they are not willing to give it to us inside here,
we shall take it by itself
and create it outside.
But have the youths in Uganda copied from the examples that you've given to us?
Circumstances differ, and that is why the ANT is here to tell you the following. Okay. That it is incumbent upon you to shape what you want to be. Nobody is going to create for you a space so that you can come and occupy the space they are having. You will have to put up the necessary pressure, acquire the necessary experience, so that you can come and replace them comfortably. We are saying that we are equipping our young people to be self-thinking, to be innovative, to be creative, and to be in position to work for themselves. Not to wait for somebody to come and mobilize for them so that they can win. Not to make themselves available for being used by other politicians. That's why you'll find that the ANT party headquarters, you don't find young people hanging around. They are busy engaged in doing things that take themselves further as young people. When time for politics come, they are also in a position to dictate which direction they want to take, other than being driven as if they have no specific direction.
But they are guiding us in the right direction. So we are actually taking that direction that those people are guiding us to.
Bakutwala mu direction nga nawe kimanyi ddala nti direction nkyamu. Oli akuwadde Senate genda ovume gundi. Ngolaba naye Kenya tasobola kumuvuma. But because you are poor, because you are having nothing to do, because you are having a lot of stress that you want to relieve somewhere else, you go on social media and earn that money. But gwe kenyini nokimanyi nti akutuma maybe akugamba okukola tasobola ye Kenya tasobola kola ki. Never okuba nti situation nawe gye weetaddemu weefudde vulnerable. Akukubira simu agenja agala nvumire gunda nga nange sebo nino mulimu gwokola. Oba akulabe agambe nti ono sola kumutuma kuvuma muntu because the way he is presenting himself. Naye you are hanging around there doing nothing. You have a constituency where you come from. You cannot utilize these years of being idle. For instance, let me say, to keep in the village so that you create change, pass on the message. So we are saying that in ANT, let the young people be trained. Let them go and spread the message so that wherever they will be, they are spreading the message of the party. Let them also use the skills they have acquired to be trainers of others so that they also be in position to build their own support base. Let they not be available all the time to be used by the old politicians. Because if you are not idle, if you are engaged in something meaningful, it will be very hard somebody to divert you into doing wrong things.
Someone here has told me most of the youths in political parties, they don't even know the party ideologies, the party.
Yes, I agree. And that's why I look at people that are blaming ANT, you're always in training, you're always doing, but that is the truth. Why should somebody support something they do not understand? That is why you find misunderstanding.
But that is what is happening. Most
that
of the
is what is happening
are supporting things they don't understand.
And that is I agree with you, my dear. ANT is a different breed. Is making sure you do not support something you do not know, so that you also don't demand the things that are not there. You are demanding for speed, knowing that we are moving at a pace that is structured. But because you don't know what you're supporting, you will start agitating and also blocking the offices of the doors of the party headquarters. No, we are demanding for action. But clearly knew from the onset when we are joining the ANT, we are moving in this specific direction and basing on this space. So I agree. You find that young people rebel against their own political parties. But their issues of contention have nothing to do with the political party they support. Yes. But because they joined that political party as a result of excitement, they did not know what they were going to support or joining. We want to change that narrative. That let young people, let people support organizations, let people support ideas that they know about, that they have been told about, that they have been educated about, so that in the future, if there is any complaint, you only complain on the things that you actually consented to.
But don't you think neka speed mwetaga mongezemuko? Kaongeremuko kalo kuva ekali.
Speed ya female ba members by it complain of speed ya enti. Era member aise mu kubangulwa kwa ANT. Alabira speed ya amanyi ko tutambulira. Nga member wa ANT.
So far abali eno fetch kirabo obulala.
We mujja ne mujoining ANT, mujja kumanya speed ko tutambulira enti yawo.
Let me read this comment for you because they're in line with what we are talking about right now. Naturally, Rita, thank you so much for watching. About the ANT seed, Zengama Tobe and Sigo yetaga kuchusa. Obetaka kubaji simbira liafa eizo butada. Obange takaliyajizira nga abantu abo baddi byansigo ya ANT. Okay. Naye wadde akakola akamu okudengulu. Wadde one MP in the previous elections. Kitalo nnyo nyini ddala, yet they seem to have good ideas.
You said she's Rita.
Nachene Rita.
Yes. Rita has got a right to our opinion. Nena yakimanyi nti otubanga tusimba ebimera bikula byanjawulo. Waliyo ebikula amangu ebitwala time. Okitegeera? Kasola jakula alete few bunches, but matoke will take time. But it will give you an opportunity to feed on it for some time. So katurachu maga tusimbe ebikula amanga tebigenda to sustain.
Naye mubadde musimbe. I remember in was it Serere by election?
Yes.
Where we expected at least okubanta ensigo ebitutandise okufulumayo. National coordinator yali mu Kalulu, but then and then in the Batanko Basonga mwene that you've been saying to building the structures to the ground and all that. And the Serere by election netulaga something different.
But that is a different debate, first of all. But the Serere by election was not an election. Because what is an election to you? Where people freely express their will. The question is, do the people of Serere express their will? The answer is no. The issue is...
But that is what has been happening in every election, every by-election, every election, every general election. That is what has been happening. Amugamba, Mutrasa expressing themselves and all that.
The people of Kayunga did not express at all their will.
Okay, now the Oyam?
The people of Soroti did not express their will. The people of Serere did not express their will. The people of Oyam equally did not express their will. If you clearly you can follow what was happening. For if an election must allow all participants and their supporters to engage freely.
Do you believe in elections?
Choosing who? I believe in change through elections. Using the atmosphere to propel 2 or 3 organizations to be given an opportunity to participate while others are not, that does not make it an election. Yes, whereas a UPC candidate won, but you will find that the only political parties that had an opportunity to freely express themselves and its supporters to come and vote were those 2 political parties that are in a partnership. What of others?
That's not factually true. There was NUP and FDC also. They had candidates.
And my statement was very clear. The parties and the supporters that were given an opportunity to factually participate, we are the 2. The one in power and its partner. And others, and others, you will find that in the elections in their strongholds was a sham. But
that requires some interrogation, but that will do another day. I wanted to ask you, because time is running out, just one more thing about youth themselves as a constituency and how they are working together to get that, achieve their space, if, as you like to put it. You have this thing by this, is it Netherlands Institute for Multi-Party Democracy, gave you a space, if I'm not mistaken, like the one that was iPod, but this time for youth, for like youth leagues in political parties.
Yes.
There's that space. Are those spaces contributing anything to the youth agenda?
The spaces are contributing to the youth agenda very, very much. You will find that whereas there is need for more opportunities to young people, these spaces have created a network, an opportunity for the young people from all across the country to come and meet, share experiences, and also find youth-based solutions. They have helped to create what we call youth-safe spaces. For instance, if you go in our political parties, it is always be the agenda of the mother party. But with an opportunity as young people meeting from different organizations, they are in a position to negotiate or discuss what is peculiar about the young people. Also, to give them an opportunity and training on how to receive and welcome other people's ideas. For instance, the issue of tolerance is much more important amongst young people. Whereas we may be sharing different views and ideologies, but by virtue of belonging to the same generation, we are to stick more together in this world. Therefore, fighting each other is not a solution to our problems. So the civic engagement and the opportunity that these organizations give to young people are actually important. They open up the eyes of young people. For instance, you will be in position to meet that young people from different areas have similar problems, but expressed in a different way, even if you have not reached in that area. So you will have a wider experience and a wider view of debating on behalf of the young people. So if that opportunity is widened because the spaces are few due to resources and the likes, there is need to train more young people, especially on the issue of governance and tolerance. The issue of one tolerating the idea and views of another that they do not believe in, yet they're all young people, it will be important to avoid crime. Also to bring it to the attention of even all young people that whereas I am maybe in the ruling party and I'm facing a particular challenge, the magnitude others are facing it may be higher than mine. So I need empathy. I need to understand. I need to stand with them. So you cannot have that opportunity if they do not bring you together to network and also to create friends. Yeah.
And speaking of tolerance, as recently at I'm in some Young Democracy Academy, and when we're having some fellowship, you look at like the sitting arrangement. The FDC will be here, like those will be table, and they will put it in the group. They'll say, "We are at table this FDC." They will be at a particular table. I happened to land on a table that had 4, who were I think about 6. 4 of them were empty. Coincidentally, and I sat there, and as always, they were trying to do the recruitment and all of that. So I agree with the fact that there needs to be a little more tolerance, because even the violence predominantly has been because of young people. Well, they could have been misled, but it doesn't negate the fact that they are the people who actually participate in the violence that happens.
No, but again, legally, being misled is not a defense. If you participate in violence as an individual, whether you are misled or not, you are accountable as an individual.
Yes. It doesn't still negate that you have been misled. It does count on you. But there has been a force that has influenced you.
You see, that is being noted. That, I formed him, but I had been misled. No, but it is your action and your consciousness that led you to being misled.
Yes,
First of all, take responsibility. The young people should always take responsibility of their actions. Why should you be misled? And then also claim that, because so and so misled me, but you, a whole human being, at least they say that let the young people mislead them. But you have been, I was misled by so and so. Can't the young people, in the long run, mislead others? That will be beneficial, at least.
At a twin experience, that's misleading about
So if you do not have experience, you should understand that I was consciously naive. I did something wrong, and I should take primary responsibility than blaming those that are misleading because they are working to their advantage.
Rogers had something to say.
No, we are coming to a conclusion, but I want to get your thought on with the position where we are. And I'm very glad that you are honest, that we have political parties, the parties have youth leagues, but the truth is they are not doing anything. It's important coming from you as a member of a youth league for a party.
Yeah, but as a disclaimer about that. You should also highlight that disclaimer.
We don't see any difference from the out here. If there is a disclaimer and yours is different, we should be able to see it. But that's besides the point. So as we conclude, we come into a conclusion. What do you think those youth leagues need to do to become a little more relevant, especially on the party at the party level, because it's the party that elevates those representations into the national assemblies? What do you think youths need to do to streamline their positions in parties?
Well, youth leagues should understand that they are the party, because the challenges that are facing them at the moment are the challenges that the party is facing. So they should take it upon themselves to organize themselves in a way that is contributing, first of all, to their own welfare. As an individual, you cannot claim to be youth leader when you cannot facilitate at least 50% of your ideas. They should also find that whereas you may not be having an opportunity to get gainful employment, you should use your time gainfully. You should not be available for being used as a person that insults others, as a person that is going to be throwing stones, the person that is going to be engaged in destruction. Let the young people behave in a way that they are an example to the older generation. Let they be in position to crowd fund and finance some of their ideas. In that, the youth leagues will be in position to command respect. Whereas the mother party may not be in position to fund all their ideas, but they will always respect the decisions of the young people because the young people have the capacity to fund those ideas. Whether they would have their blessings or not, they will be at the back of their minds knowing that we do not have control on the implementation of these ideas if the young people have decided that this is what we're going to do. Because they have the capacity, they have the knowledge, and they have the resources to move their own ideas. So all political parties must embrace that.
All right. I hope it works.
Okay, thank you so much.
And we are eagerly waiting.
You remove the word eager.
And please invite us to participate.
It is definite it will happen. Because as I've told you, we are very, very, very aware that the decision the founders of ANT took is the right decision. And we know over time, the young persons that are being beneficiaries of these trainings will come out and confess that I was groomed and brought up by ANT. I'm behaving in a specific way because of this training that I acquired and grooming from the ANT. And we believe that by such testimonies, we will be having great leaders and a better country than we have now.
Your closing remarks.
My closing remarks go out to the young people, that people in my age bracket should know that this is not a privilege. Being called young sometimes, and in most cases, it is now a tag that people give us to reduce on our reasoning capacity and our capacity to do some of these things. We should act in an extraordinary way to prove the elders wrong we should also be in position to look for what is gainful from these elders of ours and drop what is not taking us forward. That we be in position to organize ourselves, make ourselves better persons, and be in a position to fund and finance our own ideas. That's the only way we can be a force to reckon with in this country. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Maseruka Sadat, for those wonderful views you've given to us this early morning. So thank you so much, our viewers too, for giving it the Alternative Digitalk. Mwendaba commenting say, thank you so much. And I also want to thank my my host, Roger Sudiawe. Thank you so much.
And the producer of this show should not go unnoticed.
Yes, absolutely.
Shout out to your producer, Mugenyi Yajumwade. That means bakolere ddala omulimu ogw'amaanyi. Thank you so much. Team gye tukoze nayo olunaku olwaleero, omukulu Samuel Camera, n'omukyala Teddy Tenjo, mu control mwali omwami Mokose Arnold Anthony, n'omwami Ali Alibawa. Bwe tukoze okulaba nga programu eno ogirabanga bw'ogirabye olunaku olwaleero. Tomorrow the Mighty Drive egenda kubeerayo n'obwangwa neno nosoberako ate osobole okuba nga naawe ogoberera ensonga zino. The Voltage Show Jerry kusawa moya kaongezi. So ngate ku Saturday we have the Interface Show ate next naptoka kaongezi. Tusinkana mlondi okuja. Have yourselves a wonderful day.
The Alternative Digitalk. Real issues, real talk.